During school vacation, Marquis wants to go bowling and play laser tag. He wants to play 6 total games, but he needs to figure out how many of each he can play if he spends exactly $20. Each game of bowling is $2, and each game of laser tag is $4. A. Let X represent the number of games Marquis bowls, and let Y represent the number of games of laser tag Marquis plays. Write a system of equations that describes the situation, then write the equations in slope-intercept form. Whenever y'all have a big word problem like this, it's talking about X stands for something and Y stands for something, it will really help you if you go back and highlight everything that was about X in one color and then everything that was about Y in a different color. So we're going to use, it says X represents the bowling games, okay? So first, in yellow, I'm going to go back through the big word problem, and I'm going to figure out whatever it said about bowling, okay? So I know each game of bowling is $2. That will help me match up the 2 and the X whenever I write my equations. In orange, you can do, it says Y is going to represent the games of laser tag. So up here, it told me that laser tag is $4. I have to write 2 different equations that have the variable X and Y to have a systems of equations. So, to set up a systems of equations, it's going to be helpful to put equals, and then over here you're going to need a total. Okay, so you have to go back and ask yourself, well, what were the 2 totals up here in the word problem that they were talking about? 6 total games, and he's going to spend a total of $20. So that's going to help me write my 2 equations. So this first one, that was about the number of games. I know that it was a total of 6 games. The next one was talking about a total number of dollars, and it was $20. Okay, so to build that equation, I have to think of, well, what did I have to put together to get to a total of 6 games? He was playing bowling games and laser tag games. We don't know how many of each. We just know that if you take the number of bowling and you take the number of laser tag, it's going to add up to be 6. Since I don't know how many of each game there were, that's why they said let X represent the number of games that he bowls. Let Y represent the number of games of laser tag. So I'm going to use my variables, X plus Y. So the number of bowling games, X, plus the number of laser tag games, Y, equals 6. Now for the dollars, I'll go back and grab like how much it costs. So we highlighted that the bowling games were $2 each. So that would be 2 times the number of bowling games. Match it up. And it cost 4 for the laser tag games. So 4 times the number of laser tag games, Y. It told us that we needed to write it in slope-intercept form. So that's where you have to rearrange it for the goal of Y equals mx plus b. So you will be gluing this in your journal in a minute, so go ahead and skip a page for that. And on the next page in your journal, you're going to show this work about rearranging it. So we are on 6a, x plus y equals 6. Remember how above it we wrote out our goal. Y equals mx plus b. So notice the y is in the correct spot. The only thing on this one that we have to move is the x term needs to move to the other side. So you ask yourself, what would make this not be on this side anymore? So since it's positive, I need a negative to help it cancel out. Remember, you have to do that to both sides of the equal sign. Cancel that out. Y equals, I need this x term to be first. So I'm not going to start with my 6. I'm starting with the negative x. I push that positive 6 to the back. So back over here on my note page, in this equation, I had moved the x to the other side, put a star because we'll use this one whenever we graph. Now we have y equals negative x plus 6. I'm going to write this one over there on that note page so I can rearrange it for y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I have 2x plus 4y equals 20. I write my goal above it. Y equals mx plus b. The y's on the correct side, but this term over here does not need to be here. Since it's a positive 2x, give it a minus 2x on both sides. Cancel your positive and your negative 0 pairs. Bring down 4y equals, I want the x term to happen first. Negative 2x. Push that positive 20 to the back. Okay, so now at least the y and the x are in the correct spot, but I don't need this coefficient. They are multiplying, so what would make the 4 go away? Divide by 4, divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so I cancel that part out. Y equals, I'm putting this number over 4, so negative 2 over 4, bring the x out behind it. Then I'm going to have this number over 4, so 20 over 4. Then I just need to reduce so it will be easier to graph. A negative 2/4 will reduce to a negative 1/2 x, so that will be my slope. 20 divided by 4 is just 5. So we took that second equation and we rearranged it so it would be easier to graph. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. Okay, now it says to graph the solutions of both equations. Before you play the next video, I want you to use the y-intercept, so that's the number at the back, go plot it, use the number in front of your x, make it a fraction on this one, so you know how much to rise and run from your y-intercept number. Okay, so I want you to see if you can graph them and get the point of intersection before watching the next video.